What's going on? How are you guys doing tonight, Todd?
Doing good, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you guys. I'm warm. It was warmer today. It was about 55 as the high, but snowed, I think, like 2 or 3 inches the other day, and then it unfroze or whatever. So it hasn't been too bad up here.
Nice.
Hasn't been too bad. This weekend's supposed to get like 6 inches of snow, so that should be interesting.
You was just taking all the warm weather from down here up there with you.
Yeah, I was trying. It didn't work out too well for me, but it's been a good transition so far. Just trying to get used to everything. I don't have my wife here at the moment cleaning on dishes, so that should be good. She's moved back down to Florida for the time being, but it's just me up here in the north all by myself. So it's been working and just hanging out and talking to you guys. So, but. Super excited. How you been? How's everything going with you, Todd?
Doing well. I was able to step out for a minute today and cast a rod out on one of the little ponds out here.
Catch anything?
I caught 2 little bass.
Nice.
So the little fingerlings that they put in a little over a year ago are starting to get up to 12 plus inches now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting. They should be some big ones coming in there in the next, 2-3 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
I would say next year they'll be pretty good size, probably.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
I'm going to go punch like a 6-ounce weight through the ice ponds out here and see if I can go catch some.
Let's put you an auger out there and drill a hole.
Yeah. No, but we appreciate you guys. Hopefully you see some comments in here. What's going on, Lloyd? It's good to see you. Hopefully you can make it out to the last 2 events this season. Maybe be a last minute win or way into the championship for you this year. I'd love to see you out there. So today, again, what's pretty much on the agenda, what Todd and I are going to cover is April is the last month of our regular season events. The season went by pretty darn quick, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, we are on the final stretch of our season, April being the last month where we're going to be hosting some events for anglers to capitalize on where they're at right now in regards to qualifying for our state championship or club championship in May. So again, that's not all what we're going to be covering here in this particular stream. We are going to be covering the championship qualification standards, answering any questions that you guys may have about that. I posted on our social media platforms earlier this week a chart kind of outline or pretty much laying out where you currently stand as far as qualifying for the championship. And if anyone has any questions in regards to that, you can contact me directly. But hopefully, if you're watching this video, it should break it down fairly easily for you and kind of see where you're at and what needs to be done in order for you guys to stay qualified or above that cut line, and kind of go from there. But we are also going to cover the 2 events that we have for this upcoming month of April, which is going to be Lake Garcia and then the Blue Cypress event. And then also we're going to be talking a little bit about and answering any questions you may have about the FKBT Team Challenge that we're going to be doing in conjunction with the month of April. It's going to be a month-long team challenge just like we did last year. And we'll dive a little bit more into that kind of here in, after we talk about the Blue Cypress and Garcia events. But first, before we jump into any of that, we do want to kind of do a small, quick recap of Lake Panasoffkee and kind of what took place out there on March 8th. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up that tournament here if I can find it. Yes, I just want to give a huge shout out to some of our top finishers out there. I know Seth Taylor. We had spoke earlier in the week. This was his third event that he's fished, so he took home first place with 92 inches, which I'm pretty sure he had that over 90 inches before 9 o'clock in the morning. So he was off to a hot start. Catching those fish. He picked up right where he left off on the Kayak Adventure Series event that we had out there in February. Really good job with that, Seth Taylor, with taking home a win. He needed that to help him. He has automatically qualified for the championship. However, he's still missing that one event that will actually get him into the qualification standards. So he will have to fish one of the two events that's coming up in April and catch a fish to score to make his way into the championship. So hopefully Seth Taylor, I don't have any doubt that you're going to catch a fish in one of the two events. So we look forward to seeing you out there, hopefully on the championship. In second place there, we had Devin Holbrook with 83.5 inches. So really good finish there for him. He definitely needed that to help him out in the championship qualification standards as well. And then we have Brian Nelly as well, who is missing an event, who is currently below the cut line, but the three events he has fished in, he's finished in the top 10. So one more finish for him in one of the next two events this month is easily going to throw him into the qualification bracket or inside the cut line for the championship. So we have Granger. Again, I think he at this moment is leading the Rookie of the Year race for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. He placed fourth on Lake Panasoffkee with 79 inches. And then we have Robert Oakley, who has been doing outstanding this year as well and has been very consistent. He got a top 5. He rounded out our top 5 with 79 inches as well. So Granger beat him out with a 20.5-inch kicker. So overall, to those top 5, congratulations to you guys. And we look forward to kind of seeing what kind of unfolds moving into the next events leading into April with Rookie of the Year, Angler of the Year, and the championship qualifications and where everyone kind of falls. So a lot can happen here in April, and we are looking forward to seeing kind of how everything unfolds. So for Big Bass, this event, last year it seemed like it was Albert Poor who was taking home all of the big bass checks. This year it just seems like Hunter Taylor is on a big fish bite. So he took home the big bass, the Hobie Eyewear big bass with a 21 3/4. So good job there. Granger got second with his 20.5, and then Chris Collier with a 20-inch to finish out the top 3 there. So overall, right now, our Florida Kayak Bass, the FKBT lunker, the biggest fish caught this year so far is the 24 3/4 caught by Daryl Harrelson on the Kayak Adventure Series event, is currently in the lead, and we're sitting at around $1,800 for the lunker. That's where the pot is right now. So we'll have 2 more events in April to add to that. So we should be around the $2,000 mark by the time everything's all said and done when it comes to the championship. So that's super exciting. That's a big payout right there in and itself. So we're looking forward. Big fish can be caught on Garcia. Big fish can be caught on Lake Garcia. Or Lake Garcia and Blue Cypress, I'm sorry. So we're excited to kind of see how that kind of unfolds. But overall, fantastic job. I know Lake Panasoffkee was fishing pretty stingy on Saturday. From what I'd seen, I was judging the fish. And for 38 anglers that were registered, 109 fish were caught. And if I'm not mistaken, let me go there. I think for the leaderboard, there were only 3 fish caught over 20 inches.
Only 32 anglers actually measured fish.
Yeah, 32 anglers measured fish on that event, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to see how many of them actually, out of all of those, were a limit. I think only 9 anglers on Panasoffkee. The top 9 were the only ones that caught limits for, Yep, that's exactly right. So Albert Poor in ninth place was the last angler to catch a limit on Saturday. So I know it was difficult. I spoke with a couple folks after the event, and I think I overheard them saying that about around 15 pounds is what won for that boat tournament that was out there as well. So it just it was that it's been getting Panasaki has been getting hit heavily with a lot of bass boats and a lot of folks that have been fishing it tournament wise. So we're going to take that into consideration. I've already made some notes, and I spoke with Shane, who allowed us to host our award ceremony out at his place there. And kind of spoke to him and got some advice on him on when would be the best time to host a kayak event out there. It's either going to be early on in our season or after, with our season ending in May. It kind of it's probably going to be earlier in the season if we do decide to go back out there next year. Good chance we might not, depending on some other lakes that we kind of scouted out throughout the past year on where we kind of want to add some new lakes to our schedule. So hopefully we can change it up and go to some areas that aren't getting hit so heavily around this time. That's what we're really going to focus on, are on lakes that are not going to be destroyed by big bass tournaments around this time. So we're really going to focus in on that and try to take advantage of it. So, but
another note, just on the safety end of things. I think most everybody knew, but David, one of the guys in the tournament, got tossed out of his kayak by one of the little airboats.
Really,
he knocked him out. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. David, did he lose all of his stuff or?
No. Luckily enough, he didn't lose much of his stuff. I think he may have lost one rod, I believe. I'm not sure, but
wow.
he was lucky there. But yeah, it's just kind of sucks. You got to really watch out for all those other, boats, airboats, and that's why we say, run the flags, run your lights, keep your head on a swivel, because they're just, a lot of them are rude. I mean, I had bass fishermen come right. I caught one, and he come right between me and the bank where I caught it and started flipping in there where I was.
Yeah. And a big thing here too is something that we could probably do is kind of, for those who are new, or, we try to go on lakes that aren't, unfortunately, in Florida, airboats and bass boats, it's going to be something that we're going to have to, combat regardless and be aware of, just because we're not fishing private lakes like Tenorock that don't allow boats to go on plane. I think there's very few areas in which you can fish where it's like just electric motors only. And then those spots don't really have a lot of parking or ramp access for us. We're limited to that as well with how many folks that we actually have sign up. That's a good thing. But it makes us kind of have to focus our attention on some of those bigger lakes that kind of disperse anglers out to where we're not fishing on top of one another. But a big thing is and something that you can look is when you're on your kayak, going up right against the bank whenever you're getting against airboats and bass boats isn't necessarily the best thing, because that's where the waves are crashing and you have more likelihood of taking on a lot more water, because that's where those waves are going to crest and kind of break against the bank. So if you can get off of the bank a little bit and put the bow of your kayak into it, that's ultimately the best way to kind of navigate those airboats and bass boats, is to back off the bank a little bit and to put your nose in the nose of your kayak into the wake that's going to be coming. I've seen it a lot where people kind of, bass boat or a airboat goes behind them and they're kind of at an angle and it hits them from behind. It'll toss them and the water will come over the back of their kayak. And if you have scupper plugs in and you can't take them out because your black pack or all your stuff's underneath it, it's just going to, flood your kayak out and sink you or potentially flip you. So just be mindful of that. Those are some just little tips and tricks. Maybe keep one of your drainage plugs or your plugs out so that water can drain out to where you don't take on an excess amount of water that could potentially cause you to sink or flip your kayak for not being balanced properly. So just if you have any questions, comments, or things on you might need some advice, just reach out to us, post it on the kayak on our Facebook page, and we'll respond to you and hopefully try to help you in any way that we can. But this year we've had way too many anglers getting flipped out of their kayak, in my personal opinion. That just means bass boats and airboats and just people out there just aren't, not our anglers, are not the folks in the kayaks, but those bass boats are just, or the airboats just aren't, taking into consideration our safety and whatnot. So
one good thing is our angler, he did video it and he contacted FWC.
well, good. Yeah, definitely. That is a good way. If you guys have your, that's a good reason to be, recording, having GoPro footage of while you're fishing, is so you can capture those instances and turn them into FWC for failing to abide by the state and local laws that they have for safe boating operations. So that's always important. So definitely, if you see that, know what your rights are, and report those boaters who are infringing on your rights and making it unsafe for you to be operating on the water. So, but yeah, that's Lake Panasoffkee. Congratulations to our top winners there. That's awesome. Big Bass, Hunter Taylor, congrats there again for you. What we're going to move into next is going to be kind of the 2 April events that we have. So our first event is going to be on Lake Garcia. For those of you, hopefully everyone's looking in the right area in regards to where Lake Garcia is. And Todd, I don't know if you can pull it up on a map and share your screen, but I know I had some questions. It's just south of the Stick Marsh and your Fellsmere area. So it is just south of there. So this is really categorized as one of our southern events. We have our last 2 events of the year are going to be on the southern part of the state, central southern part. So since the hurricane kind of hurt our other one, our Blue Cypress event, we had to postpone it. So we're ending the season on 2 southern events. But Todd's going to bring it up here, and we're going to talk a little bit about Lake Garcia, and then we'll talk about Lake the Blue Cypress Lake, and then we'll move along to the championship. So, but I'm going to pull it up as well, and kind of go off of it here. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, it's pulling up. It's a little bit slow here.
But yeah, if you guys, I know Sean had already posted a post on our Facebook, our official Facebook page on boat ramps and boundaries. So the boat ramp, there's one boat ramp we're going to be launching from. Well, we'll talk about it here in a minute once Todd gets it pulled up. But Sean did post on our members only page. I can go back in and make sure that it's pinned to our features post up at the top, which I think I already did that, but let me double check. Yep. All right. So can you zoom in? So yeah, right there where that dot is, it's loading in where Todd has that pin. If we can zoom into that, there's actually a name to that area, you guys, for that parking lot there. That is going to be the one main launch there. It's called if you look this up on Google, they have like the Captain Bob's Airboat Adventure Tour. That is an area, but that right there off of, what is that, State Road 512, right off of that. Yeah, 512. You have that large parking lot area there, and you guys have the side of the road where you see the other boats and stuff parked too as well there. But that is going to be the launch and award ceremony location. Obviously, there's an airboat launch over there, but there are 2 lanes to that boat ramp. So that's going to be the eligible launch for this event. If you want to zoom out, there are restrooms there as well if you guys need to use the restroom. I'm trying to find what Sean had said about the boundaries.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
He did. It's just a post. I'm gonna find it. What is it called? Garcia. Yeah, he posted it. It's just Blue Cypress and Lake Garcia have one launch, and you can only go until you're stopped by a natural barrier. And if you have any questions about that, you can always reach out to Sean. So, but what we mean by natural barrier, so if you zoom out, there's obviously levees that are going to impede your ability to go any further. There are some canals that are there as well. You can see the canals to the south there, right? So your the natural barrier there is going to be that highway that runs right
I
there.
think you can go under that bridge.
Yeah.
It's right up in here somewhere.
Yeah, as
Somewhere
long
in
as long
here.
as you can get under it, right? And it's you don't have to get out of your kayak and drag, no portaging, right? If you can go under the road, so be it, right? As long as you guys stay within the natural boundaries of the lake. If you go to the north, there's going to be a canal too, I believe. Yep, there's a canal there. You can go all the way up into that canal, all the way up to, I believe that's Headwaters, but I think it's the
Yeah.
Stick Marsh. It's the Stick Marsh. Um,
What do they call that?
the
Something
spillway.
13. Yeah. So
Yeah,
right there.
that right there is your natural barrier. You guys can you are not allowed to get out of your kayak and portage over the levee into headwaters. That is not allowed. Only eligible bodies of water are going to be anything that's inside of the physical barrier of Lake Garcia. Plenty of water there to fish. So I would highly suggest staying out of the racetrack that's right there by the boat ramp. That is where airboats will do laps. So just kind of stay out of the way of that. Stay down that canal. Obviously, there's not going to be any fishing. Right there as you guys are leaving the boat ramp, get out and go. Get out of the way of all the boats and the airboaters. Okay. But yeah, that's going to be Lake Garcia. All the event and meetups and all that stuff is going to take place there in the parking lot immediately following the lines out. So you're going to have lines out, same ordeal. If everyone's back and they can get started with the award ceremony before 4:15, then that's going to be the goal, right? So lines out is still going to be 3. Last photo submission is going to be 3:30, and then the award ceremony will start hopefully no later than 4:15. Unless everyone's there ahead of time and they can get started earlier. Any questions on Lake Garcia? I know there's only 7 folks watching right now. Hopefully they watch this a little bit later so that they can get some information on it. But that's it for Lake Garcia. We're going to go to Blue Cypress, which isn't too far away from Lake Garcia. So if you want to back out a little bit there, scroll a little bit further southwest or northwest, whatever it is. I'm not sure.
It's over here.
Yep, there it is. All right. So for
is that
yep,
where the
so
launch is going to be?
yes, yep, it's going to be there. So this boat ramp here, you can zoom into it. It's a little park area here that has a lot of a decent place for parking there, where you guys can launch from. So there's actually 2 boat ramps in this one little area up in the you can see the main boat ramp is right there by if you zoom in, and then if you go up a little bit further north in that same little pocket there, you guys can launch from right there as well. And you guys can stage. Yeah. Yep, you can park. You'll park there. You can park up along the Blue Cypress Road as well. There's areas there for you to park. For folks that don't have trailers, I would highly encourage those folks to go and park up on that north side there on the Blue Cypress Road. You guys can park in there. You guys can park inside on that little point as well to kind of get out of the way of everybody. But if you have trailers, obviously they're in the trailer boat parking area. But staging for this event can be inside that little pocket right there or just outside of that little point. You guys can stage there, and then when 6:30 hits, you guys are more than welcome to head out and do your to your locations. But again, same thing there. Our award ceremony is going to be at the one boat ramp. Same thing applies. Same lines in, lines out. We're keeping everything the same. But yeah, pending any question on those two events, those are going to be our April. Registration for both Blue Cypress and Lake Garcia are live on Fishing Chaos. So you guys can go ahead and go in there and get registered for those events, so that you guys can just kind of get it over with. But registration will end at 11:59 the night prior to those events, like it has been all year long. I will say here for Blue Cypress, this is be very, very, very careful out here. I have pre-fished and went out there and fished maybe a handful of times, and the wind can get to be pretty bad out there. It's a big open lake, so if it's a
Is it a
north,
deep lake? Is it
I
deep this way?
I have no idea. I didn't have my fish finder or my anything on when I was out there. We just went out there and fished. I wouldn't say it's fairly deep. It's just like any other lake in Florida. I would say like 8-9 feet would probably be the deepest out there. But what I will say is if it's a north wind, be very, very, very careful and cautious on the south if you decide to go south, because it can get very choppy and very bad real quick down on the south end, and vice versa. If it's a south wind and it's blowing to the north end can get pretty gnarly, and same east and west direction. So just be very mindful of the wind. In regard to this, it's not saying that you can't fish it. It's just being safe, be smart. There are creeks, that canal that you can go up. There are a couple other areas in which you can get in, but again, here, natural boundaries. You guys are not allowed to get out of your kayak and portage anywhere. But I know you can take that canal and go all the way up as far as you want until you hit that first natural boundary. You can actually kind of go up and around there. It kind of goes back pretty far. It all depends on if there's mats blown in there or not too.
Can you get all the way over into Stick Marsh?
If you zoom in, you can't fish Kenansville. You can't fish Stick Marsh. You can't. It's all levied. There's like a airboat deal that kind of goes over, but no, you are not allowed to go anywhere. But if you look on the north end there, you see that bright green that looks like there's a bunch of mats blown in there. I don't know how far you can actually get back into there, but you could if you wanted to go that far and fish that canal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's Blue Cypress and Lake Garcia. Pretty simple. Boat ramps, boat launches. There's one on both. So pending any questions or concerns with that, again, like I said, you can always reach out to myself or Sean Spears or Todd. We'll be more than willing and happy to help. But hopefully we're keeping it short and simple. But yeah, that's that. I do want to spend some time now and talk about the FKBT team challenge that we just made public on Fishing Chaos as well. Last year, for the month of April, we did a month-long team challenge as a last chance, last-ditch effort for anglers who are trying to make the championship, or if not make the championship. It's a fun way for us for the club to raise some money. It's going to be 60% payout to first place. 40% of the proceeds are going to go to help boost the payouts for the championship. So what we're going to do, just like last, it's the same format and everything as last year. As of right now, we have 3 anglers signed up. You're going to sign up as an individual, right? You're going to sign up, pay your entry fee, and you're optional for Big Bass if you want to do that. Big Bass is going to be 100% payout for that. And then what we're going to do is on the 27th of March, we are going to do a live drawing for teams. So we will have a live drawing on the 27th for teams. And then what's going to happen is I'll go in and assign anglers. I'm going to create, once I determine how many people we have and how many teams we're going to have, I'm going to go in and build teams. And then I'll assign names to those teams once we determine whose names are together. And you'll have to go into Fishing Chaos, accept those roles, and then you can change your team name and do all that stuff and just upload your fish that way. The format for it is going to be 10 fish. Right, it's going to be your best. I believe it's best 10 fish. Let me go in there and actually check if that's what it was. What I have it set for. But
is it best 10 altogether, or is it
Yes.
best 5 of each?
No, it's not going to be best 5 of each. It's just going to be your best 10 for your team. And I'm going to go in and double verify that is actually, yep, it is your best 10. So I don't have it set up to where it's your best 5 per angler. Both anglers do have to contribute, though. It can't be all 10 fish from one angler. At least both anglers have to submit at least one fish. Angler 1 can have 9 and angler 2 can have 1. That's fine. But if say just one angler is has all 10, that will not work. We will that will not go towards your best 10. You would only have 9 fish at that point. And it would not count. So just make sure you're aware of that. It's fun. It's exciting. Right now we got 3 anglers, so make sure you get signed up for that. The price for that is going to, yes, sir.
I was going to say also, the anglers do not have to fish the same waters.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, anglers do not have to fish the same waters. You don't have to be on the lake at the same time. It's month long. You do have to fish out of a kayak. There is no boat or bank fishing. It is all FKBT rules apply, right? You have to use the identifier, an FKBT identifier. You have to follow all of those rules. You have to wear a life jacket when competing in these month-long events, right? When you're out on the water, I know some people, when they're just out fun fishing, they don't wear a life jacket. That's on them. But this is an FKBT sanctioned event, and you do need to be wearing your life jacket. Also, for those of you to kind of knock out these, 3 birds with 1 stone, or even 4 birds with 1 stone, Strike King is doing a USA Big Bass as well. And there's a kayak division that you can sign up for. So you can also be fishing our month-long team series. You can do the Strike King as well as be fishing the 2 events in April. So it's just y'all are going to be fishing a lot in April as it is already. Signing up for that is going to, payout last year was $600 to first place. So each angler walked home with $300, and the club raised $520, I think it was what it was. And that went towards the championship, buying prizes and things of that nature to give away and boosting the payout for the championship field. So definitely, I highly encourage you guys to get signed up. It's a lot of fun. I know last year, Jason Denise and I think Sherman Bishop was his teammate, but Sherman Bishop and Jason Denise took home first place, and that
Sherman was fine.
No, someone was with Jason Denise. Well, they won. Jason Denise was outside the championship cut line to making the championship. With him winning the team, qualified him to fish the championship, and he ended up placing in the top 4 in the championship. So if he didn't fish that event and qualify and win and qualify, then he wouldn't have been able to be in the championship and take home a top finish there. So it's a great way to kind of conclude the season. It's just something fun that we do to kind of help raise money for the championship, as well as kind of giving you guys the last shot at being able to qualify. So definitely take part in that. Right now, it looks like we have Albert Poor, Blake Johnson, and Richard Bruce are the 3 that have signed up for that. The ticket price, I'm going to go through because I don't remember. Oh, ticket for individuals is $50 and Big Bass is $20. So make sure you guys are squared away. Or if you have any questions on that, please reach out. And I did see Lloyd Hardy say Strike King kayak is no motor. I'll have to look into that and we might reach out to the Strike King folks to see what that is, because that might just be a simple adjustment to their rules. I didn't see that, so I'll double check. But yeah, thanks Lloyd for bringing that up. Definitely, if you're going to be participating in the Strike King, read their rules, be familiar with them. They are not a kayak fishing organization. A lot of their stuff is really geared towards boating and bank fishing. So it's not that they're not knowledgeable, but they're getting into the kayak scene. They're still learning. So that's something we can definitely reach out to them about and make sure that we can get some clarification to see if it is okay for motors, because I know last year they did it and they allowed motors, so not sure why it changed to no motors. So I'll look into that, and we'll post about that on the 27th as well, or we'll post it on our members only page if we're able to get in contact with them. But our team event that is going to be our last and final event. That will conclude on 30 April, which is going to be a Wednesday. So it goes live 1 April, and it'll go all the way through 30 April. So Tuesday to a Wednesday. And yeah, it's fun. Any questions in regards to the team challenge that we're going to be having? Again, not very many people are watching at this time, but if you are watching this post live, reach out to us if you have any questions. I know I've already answered quite a few on text messages previously, so hopefully there's not very many more questions out there. For the top 25 that's currently going on, again, those are an FKBT sanctioned event. All rules apply. No bank fishing. Make sure you're wearing your PFD. All of the same rules that would apply if you were fishing a monthly event that we have. So yeah.
And here's one of the great things about the team event. We'll be fishing 2 events during that time as well. So those fish can be loaded up on the team event as well.
Do what now? I'm sorry.
I said we'll be fishing 2 events during the time the team event is going up. So those fish can go up there.
Definitely count. Yep. So your Lake Garcia pre-fishing, your Lake Garcia tournament fish, Lake Blue Cypress, those two, the pre-fishing for that and the tournament for that can go towards the team. Anything, right? And then we do have Timothy Campbell on here. He had I meant to get back with you about Bassmaster. We have some folks that might be participating in the Bassmaster at Del Hollow. What we're going to do this year is we're keeping it strictly Florida waters for this year, just due to the simple fact of having to deal with the championship and qualifications. We're just going to keep it simple and keep it smart. It has to be our public accessible waters for the team series, right? So you can't go fish a private pond on a golf course. If it has a public access to it, it is open. It is fair game, just like it was last year. So any public accessible body of water, you guys are more than welcome to fish that. So don't go fishing your public or your private ponds in your neighborhoods, because those will be disqualified unless you can get with me to prove that body of water is public. Simple as that. Okay. But Timothy, still sign up. There's plenty of time out there for you to fish Florida. So get signed up. It could be a great opportunity and a good way for you to win your way into the championship if you're not already. I don't know what the list is. I don't know who everyone is on that list already. If you're already qualified, then still sign up. It's a good way to support the club too. So
Del Hollow be fun.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you're getting
it's small out there.
Yeah, some of the records have been caught out of there for Tennessee.
And believe it or not, they got some really big largemouth in there too.
Yeah. So, sorry about that, Timothy, but we'll just to keeping it at Florida, keeping it local, statewide, or keeping it statewide. Get signed up so that you guys can take part in that event. So, pending any questions for the team challenge and the top 25 challenges. Oh, VRB, I got his right. Oh, he's like right on the hill looking at Del Hollow. That's pretty cool, man. Send us some pictures. We'll be definitely bringing you guys on from Del Hollow to kind of talk about your experience and kind of how everything went. Hopefully you guys bring home a big blue trophy back home to Florida. Let's keep doing that. That's pretty awesome. So I know you guys got a good shot at it, but we're going to move on to the championship qualifications and what that looks like in that big post that I sent out, because I want to explain it for everyone here to kind of so they know where they sit going into the final month of the season, right? So I wanted to make sure I got that out there and clarifying anything that you guys have. So I do have something that I want to pull up here. So I'm going to display, not that yet. I'm going to pull up this. So on the screen here in front of you, you are going to have what our rules state for Angler of the Year qualification standard and which is separate from qualifying for the championship. So Angler of the Year is Angler of the Year race, right? That's 6 regular season events that you are competing in that are going to total up to give you your overall Angler of the Year points, right? So anglers must compete and score in those 6 FKBT regular season events. And competing means catching at least one scoreable bass. You have to catch at least one bass to receive points for that event. In block number 2 here, anglers must check in at that designated location, which we've had no issues with before. So everything's good there. We haven't had any disqualifications for that. And then for tiebreakers, in the event of a tie, the angler with the highest event finish breaks that tie. So say Jason Leach and myself were tied for first place for some reason. I have 699s and he has a couple top place finishes, 100 or first place finishes. Jason will take home the win because he has a first place finish and my best finish is second place. Even though our numbers are the same, our total is the same, he will break that tie because he has a first place finish. If both anglers have a first place finish, we will go down to what is the best second, what's their best second event. If it's a second place, then that person who has the highest finish for their second event will take home the Angler of the Year trophy. Good thing with this is Fishing Chaos already determines who our winner is. It breaks the tie. That's what it's set up to do. So as of right now, if you look at our series standings, it'll show you who is currently in first place. And if I'm not mistaken, I'll go there and I will tell you who that currently is. That is going to be Mr. Jason Leach. He has 571 points. Second place is going to be Blake Abbey. He is in second place with 566 points. And then you got Granger Hieronymus. He is our first place Rookie of the Year. But he is sitting in third place in Angler of the Year points with 553. Wendy Biles is in fourth place with 550 points. And then you got Devin Holbrook in fifth place with 546 points. So that's our top 5 there. Our 6th and 7th place are tied with 542 points. So Daryl Harrelson and Frizzy Zamora. And then anyone up to 10th place realistically has a shot at taking home Angler of the Year this year. The Angler of the Year race is is also the championship will be in the Angler of the Year race as well. So we won't determine our Angler of the Year until the championship concludes, which is the same as what we have done last year. So I'm going to bring this back up on here because that's Angler of the Year. And you guys can find the series standings for that on our main tournament dashboard on the Florida Kayak Bass Trail main dashboard on Fishing Chaos. You just go to series standings, click it, and you click this 2025 season, and it'll bring up the series standings there. Any questions on that, I can share it with you or show you how to do it. But for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail Championship qualification standards, anglers must compete, meaning catching at least one scoreable bass in those 4 events to qualify for the championship. So you must complete in at least 4. Number 2 here is what I want to explain to you guys on what we're doing for this year. The top 3rd in AOI standings will automatically qualify for the FKBT championship. We're going to do roll downs. We'll be notified in the event any angler cannot make the championship. We are going to take a minimum of 30 participants as long as we have 30 participants that have fished in at least 4 events. So what Todd's going to bring up here is the list that shows where you stand based off your 4 events because it's slightly different than the AOI standing. So we have 9 anglers. As of right now, nobody has won 2 events. So what we're doing is the 9 anglers that have won an event, or well, as of right now, I think we only have 6 that are qualified, that have fished 4 events. Seth Taylor is 1 event shy, and then we have 2 events this month for Blue Cypress and Garcia. So what that means is any angler who wins an event, they're automatically qualified. The top 33% of 75 or 76 members is 25 anglers. So we're going to take 25 anglers and the 9 winners and add those together, and that's 34 anglers. And then we have the team, which is 2 anglers. The top team there, those 2, if they aren't already qualified and above the cut line, that could potentially get us up to 36 anglers for the championship as our max. So that's how we've done that. Hopefully you guys, if you have any questions on that, just let me know. But as of right now, if you look here, we have the listing of the anglers. I'm going to go through them very shortly or very, very quickly. Jason Leach right now is at the top with 390 points total. Blake Abbey has 386. Wendy Biles and Daryl Harrelson are both tied with 385 total points for their best 4. Devin Holbrook with 382, Granger with 380, Robert Oakley 379, Christopher Blanco, you have 373, Christopher Clutter with 372, Frizzy Zamora with 370, Sam Burke, you are at 368, Thomas Woodring with 364, Jeff Gallagher 361, and then we have Christopher Lindsay 352, Chris Mitchell with 344, Scott Gibbons, you are sitting at 343, tied with Sherman Bishop. Amy Brown with 341. Albert Poor, Blake Johnson with 339. Evan Fracasso, 337. Joshua Perez, 335. Timothy Campbell, you are sitting at 333 points. Todd Quillen, yourself, sir, you are at 332. Ryan Dills, 328. Sean Spears, 321. Myself, 319. However, I will potentially not be fishing that event, so that's going to be a roll down there. Denton Giovinco with 317. John Hicks, 314. Fred Anderson, 308. Alan Reed, 307. Richard Bruce, 298. David Myers, 297. And Nicholas Feliciano with 294. Now, Todd, real quick, can you zoom over to the left at all or no? I think it's cut off. Okay, so let me see something here real quick. I'm going to check my phone. I don't think I have it. Hold on one second. I want to see something real quick. Does that make me go away, Todd?
Yeah.
Okay, but you can still hear me?
Yeah. Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Andrew Cordero, wouldn't he be up above the cut line? No.
So no, because we're doing top 33%, right? So that is why he has fallen below that cut line. So like I said, if you're towards that bottom, you know, I can tell you right now, Brian Nelly, Seth Taylor once fishes in one of his events. So we have Brian Nelly, Seth Taylor, Christopher Parker, Zach Bass, Kalen Tom Shriver, and Timothy Campbell and Timothy Strasbaugh. I'm sorry. Those anglers are all anglers who are missing their 4th event. But Brian Nelly, Seth Taylor, one more event from them, and both of them are going to be inside the top there, right? Because they just need one more event, and say they get a middle of the pack, right? Say at 80. That's going to skyrocket them to the top. So let's see let's just do some math here. So Seth Taylor gets 10th on Lake Garcia. So that's going to be 284 plus 90. That's going to put him at 374 points total, which would skyrocket him to the top, but that would drop Nicholas Feliciano below that cut line. And he already qualified too, right? Because he had won an event. Brian Nelly, he's sitting at 285 points. Let's just say he gets a top 10. 285 plus 9, that's going to put him at 375 points. So that's going to push him up. So there's a lot. We have 2 events coming up in April, right? Where everyone all the way down to, if you can scroll down, everyone all the way down to really Kylie Short. Is that as far as it goes?
Yeah.
All the way down to Kylie Short could potentially, with decent finishes, make it into the top 33%.
I got a
So,
question, Bailey.
yes, sir.
So if you automatically qualify, do those spots roll down?
So, like I said, if you won an event, right, that's 9 anglers. Those anglers are automatically going into the championship regardless, as long as they hit the 4 event minimum.
Correct.
Okay.
So
So
do we roll
33%.
down 9 events?
So 33% of 75 is 25 anglers. So we are taking 25 anglers that did not win an event as part of that. That's the 33%. So it's going to be 25 plus 9.
Gotcha. That's
Yep.
that's what I wanted to clarify. I thought
Yep.
that's what it was, but I figured
Yep.
it would be best to state it here on the line.
Yep. So your automatic qualifiers are not counted towards your 33% of the club. Right? Because if that was the case, then we would be taking way less than what we currently are.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do 25, 25 in there, or is 34 anglers is where we're at right now. And then potentially 2 more for the team championship. If, say, for instance, I don't know who's below that line, right? Let's look at, say, Chris Eastman and Alan Moore. They're on a team, right? They caught fish and they finished fairly decent in the next 2 events, and they went out and won the team. Those 2 individuals would be fishing in the championship. That's just what I see offline there. But they have to fish in the championship. So, for instance, myself, I'll throw this out there for you guys as well that are watching. I am not going to be fishing in the championship, right? So I'm currently inside that cut line. That's going to be another spot that opens up.
So that will bump Andrew up into the...
Yeah. Yes, it should. Yes. I'll go in after the next event. I'm going to go in and update this after each event leading into it, so you guys know exactly where you're at and where you fall on that, so you're not surprised on if you're going to be competing in the championship or not. Again, the championship is going to be on the St. Johns River, May 17th and 18th, right? If my dates are correct there. So May 17th and 18th are going to be our championship on the St. Johns River. So, April is going to be pretty busy for you guys. So hopefully you guys can get some time out there in May. You'll have 2 weekends pretty much leading up into it. That will allow you to pre-fish, because pre-fishing for the championship is we'll talk about pre-fishing when pre-fishing is going to end a little bit, next week or the week after. We'll talk about that. We'll worry about that when it gets closer. But yeah, hopefully that answered all of your guys' questions about the championship. I want to do something real quick. I got to look at something real quick. So I want to count something real quick, so just bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so right now it looks like we're sitting at let me do the math here. 36. I'm just trying to do the math here. Hold on 1 second. My thing is not working with me here. Not being too friendly for me. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. I wish I had all my stuff in order, but I thought I did. I didn't know that the numbers were going to go klabunk on me there. Hold on. Oh man, this is frustrating.
You need to put the numbers back up, Bailey?
No, I got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 34. So again, that's why I wanted to make sure. I wanted to look at it. Right now, we're sitting at 35 anglers is what we're currently sitting at for above the cut line. So that's where we're at. So yeah, it'll be 35 anglers is what our goal will be for that. So I'm going to go in after this and erase my name out of that and kind of shift, and that'll shift some folks up into that as well. But yeah, just if you have any questions on it, just let me know. We'll be transparent and open and post things up as we are. But last year I think we took 35 as well, right? And we had around the same members. So we have 75 members, so or 76 now after our last event. So, but any questions, Todd? Anything else you need clarified? Any
No, I think
questions that
that's
you
good.
might
I
have?
just wanted to make sure that was out there for everyone.
Yeah. So looking at it, and I can break it. I'm going to break it down a little bit more too, just to kind of hopefully I'm not confusing it. Just for the automatic qualifiers, like for the top 9, and then I'm going to break it up. I'll break it up for the top 9, the winners that I've auto qualified, and then the 25 anglers that are outside of that that have qualified. So you'll see the winners, and then everybody else who just fell on the above the cut line based off of their points that they've earned, pretty much. Next year, I can tell you this: we're going to make it as simple as possible. I'm not going to be doing this again. It's going to be the same AOY events is going to be the same standard for championship, so that we can use the AOY chart for Fishing Chaos to determine that top 33%, and make it as simple as possible. So it's not confusing for you guys. As the angler, we're going to try to simplify things and just make it one common thing. We're trying to make it do something a little different this year, make it a little bit more challenging. But I think next year we're just going to cut it in the middle, and we're going to do your best 5 events across the board for AOY and championship, and just leave it at that. Simple, simple, simple. But again, this year we're going to do what we did last year. Championship's going to be your best 5 over a 2-day period. Again, we told you our thought process behind that. Hopefully everyone understands that. And we're just there to have everyone catch fish and can be able to compete and have a chance to walk away with an awesome trophy for the championship. So speaking of that, we did place our trophy order this week for the championship. We're going to be doing the similar to what we had last year for the catch. Catch is going to be doing our trophies. So we will be 1st through 3rd are going to be getting catch trophies. You're going to have your little lunker, the little bump board. You're going to have your Angler of the Year and a Rookie of the Year catch trophy. Angler of the Year, we're going to be doing something unique. We're going to be, can we talk about that, Todd? You want to talk about the Angler of the Year?
Sure.
Okay, and I know we're almost at that hour mark, so we'll hurry up. But for Angler of the Year this year, what we're going to do, you're not going to get this particular product or award at the award ceremony, because it's going to be very unique in a sense that it's going to be a banner that you guys, it's going to be specifically about you, Angler of the Year for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. We're going to take pictures of your fish, of your submissions on Fishing Chaos, every single fish you caught this year, and we're going to place it on a banner. It's going to have Florida Kayak Bass Trail, Angler of the Year. It's going to have the list of all the lakes where you finished on that lake, on that particular schedule where you placed. Pictures of all of your fish submissions, pictures of all the award ceremony meetups, you holding your checks, any picture that you want to provide us with that we can place on there, and then that's going to be something that you can hang up in your office, in your room, or in your bedroom, wherever it is. But that's just a memento that you'll be able to take with you. That's a little bit bigger than a trophy, but it's just something personalized that we want to do for you guys, or for the Angler of the Year. And then, yeah, that's something that we're going to do. We're also going to do a prize pack and give you guys obviously some more prizes than just that banner, but that's just the trophy side of it. We're going to give you a catch trophy and then a banner to go with it. Next year, we're going to do something a little bit different, and I want your guys' feedback on it. We're going to do a belt. We are going to budget and purchase an Angler of the Year belt. And once it gets designed and everything, we'll post it on our social media page. It looks pretty freaking cool. They're a little bit expensive, but I think it's well worth it. We just got to budget it into what we want to do. and how we want to spend money, but we're definitely going to be looking at doing a WWE style Angler of the Year belt with all of our sponsors on it, and then it's going to be cool. Me and Todd are working on it, but we're already past the submission deadline to get it for this year, so it's going to be something we budget and we work out for next year, and it's going to be something we're potentially going to bring to each event to kind of hoist it up there, so you guys can see it.
Maybe we'll get a sponsor to maybe be able to do it for us.
Maybe we're going to definitely look into that, but they're not too expensive, but it's going to be really cool. And there's some other things that we're going to do next year that are going to be unique in regards to some things that we're going to be doing at the events too. But just want to give you guys a little heads up on that. We're trying to do something special for the Angler of the Year. We're not doing a kayak giveaway, obviously, for this one. We do have a NK 180 that we're going to be giving away at the championship. We're still trying to finalize our Angler of the Year package on what all you're going to be getting when it comes to that. There'll be some cash. There'll be a check for that, but there are also going to be some prizes for you as well. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to the championship, even though I most likely won't be able to be there. I hope I can, but I don't know with work. But we'll definitely see what we can do. But I'm definitely looking forward to April. If you guys have any questions, I don't see anything in the comments section other than my wife saying what's up. I don't think she's watching anymore. She just popped on, but yeah, we didn't have very many people watching tonight, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I just hope that you do watch this, and if you have any questions, reach out to me so that we're not repeating ourselves, kind of like a broken record throughout this whole month of April when we covered it right here. So pending any other last minute questions, again, congratulations to all of our anglers that were out there competing on Panisofsky. We hope that you guys get registered on Fishing Chaos for Lake Garcia and Lake Blue Cypress and the Team Challenge. All April events are live on Fishing Chaos, so make sure you get signed up. And yeah, we'll see you guys out there. We will be going live again next, potentially it will be next week, right? So we'll be doing the captain's meeting for Lake Garcia on, let me see, what day is it? It's going to be on April 10th. So we got some time, but we might not go live next week. It might be on the 27th of March. So just be mindful there. But yeah, Todd, what you got?
I just want to give a quick shout out and say good luck to all our boys, the Florida boys that are fishing in the Bass Nationals, and also my boys from Tennessee. Hope they do well.
Yeah, we got a lot of folks that are traveling. Chris Mitchell, I know he's on his way now to go fish the Classic. Eric Samuels is on there, I believe. I'm sorry if I forgot your name or forgot all the ones that are on there. I didn't get a chance to go through and look at all the Florida anglers that are out there, but I know there's quite a few even fishing the Bass Nation stuff too. So y'all go out there, bring the trophy. Bring it back home. So we're looking forward to seeing another blue trophy hoisted here somewhere in the state. So yeah, good luck.
So Gibbons said Garcia has been fishing good lately. Nice.
It's a good place. It's good. It's held. It has some big fish in it. That's for sure. That's why we went. That's why we want to go there. But yeah, awesome. Again, tight lines. Be safe this weekend. If you guys are out there pre-fishing, let us know if you have any questions. But until next time, be safe, tight lines, and we'll see you then.